going on, y'all? We're back on the couch. We're back in the stew with Noah, and we're just gonna have a conversation on how he can help you bring your ideas to life.
What's up, guys? I'm Noah. I'm a music producer, and yeah, I can help transform your musical ideas into a professional production, whatever skill level you might be at.
Fire. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
The people you've worked with so far,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say is like the problems that you've been helping them solve?
I would say they might have an idea. A lot of artists have an idea in their head of, what they want it to sound like. They might give me songs that they're inspired by
Okay.
at the time and kind of want a similar sound as far as like the music goes. And, I'll usually just kind of sit. I love to make a new song on the spot with artists. So
Okay.
a lot of the artists I work with, they don't have any material. They might have lyrics.
Yeah.
And I'll go off that too. So I'll kind of like I'll read their lyrics and I'll kind of hear a melody in my head. And then I'll kind of go off that, depending what I hear. And then we might go through some pianos, we might go through a guitar or like some synths, and I'll just kind of like wait till we both hear something that we both really like, that really catches,
Okay.
and then we'll build the song from there. With Yale though, he had his own song, which actually typically I haven't worked with too many people like that yet. I actually loved that because it made it easier.
Yeah.
The only tricky part was finding the tempo.
Yeah.
But then once we locked that in, it just was pretty easy from there.
Burn me down, incinerate my art. Only been a charm regret. Burn me down, incinerate my art. You've only been a charm regret. We were young now. What were we thinking?
If artists, like if you're watching this and you want to work with Noah, like you may not have the best musicality skills. Noah can like play the guitar, he can play the pianos, he can play the instruments required so that you can still build your song out pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I know you said you went to like music school. Is that partly why you can do that? Like,
I don't think so. I think when I went to music school, I was actually in jazz orchestra.
okay.
So what I learned there was more music theory. So yeah, but I'd say metronome. It takes a lot of practice to play with the metronome.
Yeah,
to
it
be
does,
honest,
for sure.
especially guitar.
Yeah.
It's tricky, and I've been playing guitar since I started when I was like 12 years old.
Okay.
I'm about to be 33 now.
Nice.
But like even when I was 21 and I first started going to the studios with bands, like I had trouble. Like,
Yeah.
in time, you
Yeah.
know, and it was like, I had to like face my ego there a little bit and really start practicing playing with the metronome. So it's tricky. It takes time, and I've been doing it for so long that it's pretty easy.
If it's not on time and you didn't play it to the drum,
Right.
it's so hard to add extra stuff.
Yeah. Things will start sounding sloppy, and everything should be tight. You can have some like live feel in there with some of the instruments, but there's certain things that need to be locked in tight that way.
Yeah, and if you're playing live too, because there's different type of production where you are just programming, where you're literally just like selecting the notes in the whatever DAW you're using.
Yeah.
But the way that Noah can do it, he can do it that way too. I've seen him do that also, right? You can plug in the chords and whatever, everything would be tight. But if you want it to be natural, in which Yale's song is it's played,
Right.
You're already going to be technically a little off or whatever. Like there's going to be a little bit of leeway in the playing. That's just how playing works,
Right.
And so that's the liveliness of it.
Right. Which is what I love. And I didn't want to take away from that,
Yeah.
So it's cool when someone has a song that they've been like writing and yeah, like even if you barely know the guitar and you just kind of like can barely strum the chords, but you have the idea, like you see the potential. I also see the potential. So that's where I come in, is grabbing that potential and then solidifying it, making everything a reality.
When you were helping Yale with his vocals and stacking and doing all these things, I was like, wow, like it's different when you record one vocal, but then once you hear all the vocals stacked like what you did,
Yeah.
oh my God, it already sounds like professional.
Yeah.
Like, take us through that. Like, what is that concept?
Well, Yale's a great singer too, so that made it even easier. But yeah, so like for the verses, we left it just the main vocal.
Okay.
Right, I believe.
Yeah.
And then the chorus, that's when we brought it in to kind of bring it up a little bit. So I had him sing, the same way that he did in his main vocal, just do a dub, just to like make it more full. And then we added 2 more layers, which I panned throughout the speakers. So I kind of pan them throughout so that you can hear it like a fullness, almost like an orchestra or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had him do like, I don't know if you noticed how I had him like whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little trick I learned that I really, really like. It just, especially in a song like that.
Yeah.
It just gives it like this, like, you could barely hear it, but it's there. Yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I loved it.
When you come into a session like this, because Yale kind of already had the song in a way, right? He wrote the lyrics. He already knew like the chords that he was playing. What I saw was you helped him build the foundation, like the actual structure of the song.
Yeah, arrangement, I just kind of try to see what I'm hearing.
Okay.
See what I want to hear next.
So then that means like if the artist comes in and they already have like a piece that they wrote for it, are you helping them guide like, maybe we should chop off a little bit of this, or we can add a little more, or you know what I mean? Like if it's maybe not flowing properly, or it should be this amount of bars so that you can leave this much space so that we can add the drop, because you're adding those, you're starting to hear those elements once the song is starting to flesh out.
You reminded me of that. Yes. For the last chorus, we wanted to build it up, so we kind of cut that second verse a little bit, and then we're gonna have like a break, like we're gonna put a fill in there, like a riser, some risers. And we're gonna build it up with some guitars, and like probably put in some like heavy electric distorted guitar in there with some like, I don't know, different drums, live drums or something. just to build it up, because I know that's how Yale wanted it to be too. He wants to kind of build it up in the end there, which I completely agree. Like you can hear it. So yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. So that was really interesting to watch. You can really see how, like, once you created the structure, and then you guys did the verse, the chorus, the verse, the chorus, and then it was like, oh, we can do this here.
Exactly.
Because now we're really starting to feel the song come to life.
Right.
And
Yeah.
That was really cool to watch.
And I'm excited to finish that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to work on that.
What are things that would help the session go smoother when they come to you?
Well, always, obviously, for a vocalist, warm up in the car before you come to the studio. And then, when you have your own song, it's really cool. Like, I think that just makes it easier for me. You know, it's like we're not starting from scratch. But if we need to start from scratch, that's cool too. Like, I'm always up for the challenge. And, like, when you make something new with an artist, it's special. I feel like they almost it's different than when you send a beat to an artist and you just send them the beat.
Yeah.
When they're there in the studio, when you make the beat, it's different. They're more emotionally involved with it because they were there. They're a part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the same thing with artists when they want to, when they bring their own song, it's special to them. They're already emotionally involved, and this session's going to be more special. It's going to be more intimate that way. So that's how I like to work.
So what would you say a time frame would be? Like if someone was like, "Hey Noah, I want to make a song, but I really don't know what it is yet, and I want you to help me create a song from scratch." Like what's a time frame? Because with Yale session, that was about 2 hours, and you got so much done in 2 hours. Like it was pretty solid.
I would say like, at least 3 hours.
Okay.
And the first thing I would do is ask you, okay, what made you want to make music in the first place? Like, what was the song? What's the song? What's getting you inspired here? And then let's kind of go off that, at least with tempo. We don't need to take anything but let's at least get the groove of what's making you feel like you want to make music,
Okay.
And then we could build from there. Pretty much once you got the chords to a song, it's over. Like I hear the entire song.
Wow. Okay.
And it's just catching up with my own mind. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we got to add guitar, we got to add bass, we got to do this. So it's like, okay, here we go. And then you just get it done.
Nice.
Just step by step.
Okay. Dang, that sounds amazing. So then I would say that could probably be like set aside 4 hours just to be on the safe side.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then you can help with the lyrics and whatever.
And there's always a little bit of like, you don't want to like just go straight shot all the way through. There's a little bit of breakup time talking and stuff like that. So it's good to have a little bit of extra time.
Okay.
For sure.
And for those, let's say that has the idea, kind of knows the direction they're going, but doesn't have the lyrics yet. What is the process that you do to help them, sift out those lyrics?
So let's say they sing a line, right? But there's one word that's making it so that it's off time.
Okay.
I might have to be like, hey, we got to cut out the I before this.
Or
whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because I find that happening a lot.
Okay.
Because I think they don't, it's another one of those timing things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you have all the lyrics, but you don't understand how it's going to lock in with the tempo.
Gotcha.
So definitely keep an open mind when you come to the studio. That the lyrics, it's not that like a producer would want to change your lyrics or anything like that. It's just like helping to make it fit with the song
Yeah.
the best it can.
What are some of the clients you've worked with so far? What have they like recently? What have they brought to you, and what are you working on right now?
So uh we met J Louise on one of your other
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
podcasts. I'm working on we put out her first single. So we're working on her next single, and
Nice.
it should be done. We're hoping to release it by the end of May.
Okay.
Um it's called Give Me More, and that one is, I would say, a mixture of like some bluesy kind of country guitar,
Okay.
acoustic guitar, mixed in with some like kind of like indie rock drums and like indie, kind of synthesizers and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really cool vibe. We're also working on an EP, which is pretty much done, that will probably drop after that.
Fire.
Um, and then I'm working with another artist that does indie pop. Um, we've released multiple singles. Her name is Kanitha, and she's right now we're kind of working on multiple songs,
Okay.
kind of exploring her sound right now.
Yeah.
But hope to release another single soon.
What would you say then is your ideal artist that you would want to work with, like your ideal client? Like if you could be like, this person came to me and they brought in all these, and this is like the perfect symphony of whatever. Like what would be that, that ideal client?
I just love working with talented artists. Like if you got like a great voice or like great ideas, even if like you're still working your voice out or whatever it is, and but you got great ideas, like I love working with that. You know what I mean? Like I just want to work with people who are inspired and actually want to do this, that have like want to get that creative outlet yet. And even if you are a beginner, because
Yeah.
that's what I'm here for, is to help guide those beginners too. And I have, and like, they've gotten better and better. So